The mercury has dropped to 50 below, deep freezing the land once called Seward's icebox. The wind is unforgiving, chilling the air to minus 100 degrees. If it appears at all, the sleepy sun stays low on the horizon. A layer of hoarfrost adds crystalline beauty to last summer's buds. In Cook Inlet, the ice which washed away on spring's tide has returned. Winter has come to Alaska. With its arrival, the last frontier comes alive. Glowing in the morning light, the Chilkat River. Here, at the northern tip of Alaska's Panhandle, a warm current keeps a 2-mile stretch of the river open most of the winter. Every year, a late run of chum salmon returns to this river. After spawning, the salmon provide nourishment for the wildlife of the Chilkat Valley. It is here you can witness one of Alaska's winter wonders, a unique event in nature, the gathering of eagles. They come from all over southeast Alaska to feast. Roosting in the cottonwood trees along the riverbank, more than 3,500 bald eagles, the largest concentration in the world. Echoing throughout this canyon is their song. These proud birds will remain here in the thousands until the river freezes or the food supply declines. Then, one by one, they'll lift their great wings to the winds of winter. Like the eagles, the first Alaskans migrated from Asia to this land in search of better fishing and hunting. Eskimo and Indian villages dot the windswept coast and inland rivers. They live a subsistence lifestyle, hunting and fishing, in a region where the wind will whip the snow into drifts larger than a house and drop the temperature to 100 below and colder. Yet, if given a choice between the Sunbelt or the Arctic, they'd stay right here.
You can see by our dress that we dress for the weather, and It's the cold has become part of us. And we live here because we want to live here.
In Village, Alaska, snow machines have long since replaced dog teams as the principal way to get around in the winter.
It's not uncommon for an individual to put 10, 12,000 miles on a snow machine in a season. I'm talking from October till April. This is your car, this is your airplane, taxi cab, everything you want. It takes you wherever you want to go.
Laurie Shirk lives in Kayena, 30 miles above the Arctic Circle on the Kobuk River in northwest Alaska.
I think our seasons change so drastically that you appreciate each season, and as one season changes to another, you look forward to it. Now, the winter, the dark days are gone and the long days are coming. Spring will soon be here. All the ducks and the geese will be back, and as soon as we have breakup, then you got summer, and everybody looks forward to the fishing season. You go from one season to the other, and you always have something new happening, or you subsist on a new type of fish or game.
The restless caribou are leaving these rolling hills, heading north to their calving grounds. As spring approaches, these smaller groups will join together, moving like giant shadows through the valleys. Through the winter, they have been stalked by wolves and man, and are wary of any potential threat.
There she goes now. Somebody shoot?
Today, Laurie will just watch and enjoy his Arctic home. Flying over northwest Alaska, you get a sense of Alaska's immense size. The local borough is the size of the state of Indiana, with only 7,000 residents. Kotezebue is the largest Eskimo settlement in northwest Alaska. It sits like an oasis in a desert of snow and ice. But even though Kotezebue lies above the Arctic Circle, in many ways, it's like every small town. You'll find many of the modern conveniences of urban living, along with the confusion. The toys may be different, but the children still play in the street. You've got your beauty parlor at $55 a perm. A filling station overlooks the frozen ocean. You can fill your tank with regular for $1.65 a gallon. After school, a pickup game of basketball. Only this court is covered with snow. There is also much of the old way of living here. The Eskimos of the coast have learned how to live off the land and sea, how to survive and enjoy living in this harsh climate.
Smell.
Their Eskimo name means real people. You can read their life story in their eyes, hear it in their songs, watch it in the motion of their dance. Some songs tell of happy moments in an elder's past. Others tell of the land and the animals. They are drumming the heartbeat of life. In the darkness of the Alaskan winter, the evening sky dances to the beat of the ancient drums, the dance of the northern lights. In this celestial dance, charged electrons collide with molecules in the upper atmosphere. The aurora borealis is like an enormous neon light, which in an average display consumes more energy than does the United States in 1 year. Fireworks of the man-made variety signal the start to Alaska's largest winter carnival, the Anchorage Fur Rendezvous.
Easy.
Yeah, this kid's a natural.
By mid-February, Alaskans are looking for an excuse to put on the fur hats and parkas and have some fun.
One, full tour. Two. Trying to see that 100.
Pop one, you win. Here we go. We need some more dart throwers. 20. There you go. All right.
Rondi also hosts the World Championship sled dog races. Competitors like George Atla and Charlie Champagne shake hands and get ready for the rides of their lives.
Can you imagine, they turn you loose with 20 dogs and then you take off. You don't even want to think about stopping them, you know.
It's just a real thrill.
There's also the Women's World Championship, no less competitive and no less thrilling.
I'm fine. Come on, let's go. Pick it up. Let's go.
I don't know how long a dog team is, but they're as long as a semi-truck almost, and so and you're on the end of it. It's like kind of crack the whip, and so you get some speed out there.
It's unlike the long distance mushing, which is endurance and you know, you're really amazed at how strong people are and how tough people are. This is a sheer adrenaline sport. It's just all out as fast as you can go for still pretty decent distances.
3,100. 3,100.
The Rondi began as a gathering of trappers. It still has a fur auction.
A great big polar bear rug.
There's even a Rondi event for Brutus.
Load them up. 2,900 will be the next weight.
He's a family pet. He's completed his American Championship in the show ring. He's just an all-around good dog.
Two competitors left, Champ Brutus and Titus. Next weight will be 3,800 pounds for the heavyweights. Float them up, gentlemen. 4,400 pounds. All right.
Special relationship here in Alaska. Whether it's the Rondi weight pull or the last great race on Earth, the Iditarod. It's an adventure by dog team across 3 mountain ranges, 1,200 miles. It starts on the paved streets of Anchorage and ends 2 weeks to a month later on Front Street in Nome on the Bering Sea. In between, it's the experience of a lifetime. Just musher and dogs, and the best or worst conditions Mother Nature creates. For most mushers, just completing this race is prize enough. For a few, winning the Iditarod is everything.
10 seconds.
Ready to rock and roll.
The first Saturday in March. It's the moment Jerry Austin and his team have trained 11 months for.
Hi, Herbie. Hey, Jerry. Good luck. Good luck. See you.
2, 1, go!
There they go on their way to Nome.
Race veterans and rookies all start out equal. Teams leave in 2-minute intervals for an incredible journey across the last frontier. These hardy athletes are poetry in motion. They are born to run. Getting past the crowds and through Anchorage is the first obstacle. Ahead, the Alaska wilderness. Most of the mushers are Alaskans, but men and women come from all over to tackle the trail in search of their Iditarod dreams.
Slip on the road.
Dan McKeechan hails from Colorado.
The country, this is much bigger. This is immense, a land of extremes, the flats, the mountains, the tundra. Well, it's a wonderful opportunity to be alone with them. Back in Colorado, there's a lot of, let's say, stress from the business, pressure, if you will. We have people all day and all night, and it's just nice to be alone every now and then. It's nice to be out here in Alaska alone and just focus in on the dogs and the immediate problems you have with that and the trail ahead, and that's it.
The Iditarod Trail twists and turns towards the Alaska Range, following historic gold rush supply routes. It's a white carpet ride through the spruce forests, silent, except for the falling snow and your panting huskies. Along the trail, tent camps and isolated settlements serve as checkpoints. At the checkpoints, the dogs will be examined by race veterinarians. But Bill Cotter can tell at a glance how his team is doing.
They smile, you know, if you look at them, they're smiling. So they're feeling pretty good.
The dogs that shouldn't go on are left at the checkpoints with a ticket home, but they'd rather be running. The chorus moves from dog to dog. Enough rest. It's time to move on. From sea level to Rainy Pass, they've climbed 3,200 feet. It's like being at the top of the roller coaster. Ahead, the treacherous Dalzell Gorge. From year to year, this icy chute varies from bad to worse. Hairpin turns, questionable ice bridges, and open water can be a musher's worst nightmare. The race veterans know what to expect. For rookies like John Patton, it's their Iditarod baptism.
It's a massive undertaking, but it's a wonderful way to get into Alaska with your animals. I think one woman told me, have the time of your life. And it hadn't dawned on me to that point that maybe that's why I was here, that I was going to have the time of my life. And I'm doing exactly what she told me to do.
After crossing the mountains and navigating the gorge, the Iditarod teams find sanctuary at the Roan checkpoint. It's a solitary cabin among a stand of spruce trees. At Roan, Susan Butcher repairs her sled.
I don't think there's any such thing as a drill in this place, though.
Hundreds of miles from the nearest town requires ingenuity. While she searches for the right tools, a camp robber helps himself to her lunch. The mushers must take a 24-hour break somewhere on the trail. Most take it here. It's been days since they've slept.
It's very tiring for the musher, and we get very little sleep, but we mush through beautiful country. It's completely silent out there. All you have is your 16 best friends, or however many dogs you've got, and they're happy to be out there. You're seeing wildlife, you're seeing new country, and I think it's much more fun than most people who look at us would think.
On the average, Iditarod dogs move down the trail at 10 miles an hour. Whether that trail is glare ice on the South Fork of the Kuskokwim River or snowless gravel beds. For a handful of teams, the trail takes its toll. They won't finish, but most keep moving. From checkpoint to checkpoint, village to village, in the wind and bitter cold, always moving, always pointed towards Nome.
Being able to take dogs and yourself and survive the trail and the elements and cross the finish line in Nome, it's a thrill. It's a sense of satisfaction when you cross that finish line.
Winter in Alaska gives way to many passions. These men and women are racing the Iditarod Trail on mountain bikes. Their two-wheel trek will take them 210 wobbly miles through the wilderness.
I don't know, it would have been this soft. I would have did the desert race.
Another winter passion, climbing frozen waterfalls.
How's that ice? It's good up to here. It's starting to get a little candlesticky up here, but it's pretty good.
Near Valdez, Keystone Canyon, hundreds of waterfalls, frozen by the first breath of winter, hang in mid-cascade. These icicles are 20 to 50 stories high. If you're looking for a challenge, it starts at the bottom.
Climb on!
Ice climbers from around the world descend on Valdez every winter to challenge these icy sculptures.
You can really feel when it goes in good and when it doesn't like that.
Armed with axes in each hand and crampons strapped to their boots, they attack the ice with all their strength and concentration.
As long as your axes are in well and your feet are well, you're fine. You're safe. And I like being there, and because everything is focused, you're total concentration.
Ice is in good shape.
John Weiland is on the ice nearly every day during the winter. John and climbing partner Andy Embeck are climbing Hung Jury, one of the more unusual ice falls in Keystone Canyon.
See if I can get up over here a ways.
If you're interested in climbing, ice climbing, this is a place to come. You don't have to hike, anywhere. You don't have to hike for 3 hours to get in to do one climb and come back out or camp out or anything. You can be home in bed, take a shower or a tubby or whatever you want to take, and come back out the next day. It's like Yosemite. It's the Yosemite of ice climbing, this place is.
In the Chugach Mountains, climbers of another sort cling to the rocky ridges. The dull sheep of Chugach State Park climb to the higher elevations. They find protection on the cliff's edge and can expend their energy on the business of surviving. The conditions are ideal. The warm winds off the water below sweep the ridges clear of snow, exposing bare rock and dry bunch grass. hunting is not allowed in this area of Chugach State Park. Although curious, the ram doesn't seem bothered by contact with humans. While the rocky ridges belong to the sheep, the snowy slopes are all ours. The Alyeska Ski Resort is 40 miles from downtown Anchorage. At the base, it's only 200 feet above sea level, the lowest base elevation of any ski resort in the world. On the upper slopes, as much as 800 inches of snow falls in a season. Skier Doug MacArthur flips over conditions like this.
It's the closest a person can get to flying without actually leaving the ground. In some cases, you leave the ground. Looking across the Chugach Range, it's just one small range of mountains in the state, and it is absolutely breathtaking. The challenge of skiing in those mountains is just, it's an incredible experience.
Because of the ruggedness of the terrain, these slopes are primarily for the intermediate or advanced skier. But don't tell 3-year-old Raina Hamill. Alyeska has its share of special ski events. Among the favorites, the annual Slush Cup. All it takes is a pair of skis and a little madness. If you're looking for a ski trip through the woods, Anchorage's Kincaid Park has the trails. The beauty of Alaska's winter is found simply where you look for it. In the steam rising in the morning light. In a bicycle frozen till spring. In a delicate layer of frost. Winter's beauty is also found among the beasts of this great land in their ability to survive. Alaska's beauty is within the people of this land of winter wonder.